All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we pray and we'll get started here. And I'm going to ask Jay Williams and Fullerton. Can you just pray briefly and thank God, and He would lead our time here.
Certainly. Father, thank you for the chance to gather today and learn from each other. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to celebrate the work that you're doing through the cities scattered around on this area. We're grateful, Father, for the opportunity to unite the church together so that we might effectively work together for the good of our cities and for the lifting up of your name. So I pray that you'll just direct our conversations today, help us to learn and to come away encouraged and eager to continue this good work. We're grateful for this. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, hey, I want to start off with Tori. Are you here from Snoqualmie Valley in Washington? Tori here yet? There
Yes.
he is.
I'm here.
Tori, we had one city that had their big volunteer day this last month. And so I know you're more than a city, you're a valley, you're a number of cities there, but can you share a little bit just briefly about some of the maybe one or two highlights from your big day this past month?
Yeah, so we actually did a hybrid of kind of a donation drop-off, which we did last year during COVID when people couldn't be together. So we combined the donation drop-off with a service day. So people could choose to do either or both. And we set it up at 3 different locations throughout our valley. And the service projects that we had were primarily to help get the elementary schools ready for the school year. They're super short-staffed on maintenance and landscape crews. And then we had card making, like cards of encouragement, and we created homeless kits so that there was a variety of different things for different ages that people could do. And each location had between 50 and 75 volunteers each. And then for all the donations that we received between the 3 locations, it was about the same amount as when the event was only a drop-off location. And all those donations then go back out to our nonprofits in the valley. So it was really encouraging to see the amount of people that were ready to come out, that were ready to serve. And the landscape jobs were bigger than what we had volunteers sign up for. So we were graciously asking people to, hey, once you're done making your cards or whatever you signed up for, are you willing to put on a pair of gloves and get to work? And they did. And all the landscaping projects got done that needed to be done. The school was a huge help that one of their employees came by through a rotation through the 3 departments to make sure we had enough bark to remove any garbage and things that we'd collected from it. So it was just a really great event, and it was exciting to see everybody coming together and happy to be serving their community.
Great job, Tori. You know what I love is you and all of our cities. We had a model 2 years ago. You do the big rally and then you go out and volunteer. That model's not happening right now for most of our cities, but we've been able to be creative, think around what we can do and what we can't do, and still have a successful day and still have people meet needs. Just do it in a safe way. And so thank you so much. But how many volunteers do you think you had?
We probably had around 200 volunteers.
That's awesome.
I know Danielle's on the call as well. She helped run that event while Emily's on maternity leave. So I don't know if Danielle has anything that she wants to add.
Hey, sorry, I was having some technical difficulties, logged into the wrong one. No, just kind of adding to what Tony was saying. It was just cool to see how many people showed up, but honestly, it was the fact that just people were ready. And I think that was something that, I don't know, lifted my spirits in it, is just people were so excited to be there, and they didn't care how much work or how little work. They were just like, I want to be in community. I'm ready to be here. Give me work to do. And so it was cool to see that. And I think it was just a really awesome, creative way that we kind of threw out there to the community and like, okay, this is what we're going to do with COVID and just all of the different things that were happening. But it was just really awesome to be with people who were ready to just be with each other and to serve and to just serve their community. So it was cool.
Awesome job. Awesome job. Well, hey, this month, actually this Saturday, Anaheim has got a volunteer day this Saturday, and then Nathan's on the call. And then Los Alamitos is coming up next Saturday and Sunday, I believe, the 10th and 11th. And then Stockton is on board for September 23rd. And then in October, we got a bunch of cities. A whole lot of cities are going to be on board, loving their cities in practical ways and doing it creatively and thinking outside the box. If you are planning on doing, your city's planning on doing some kind of volunteer day experience, and you need help in that preparation, you need some just to strategize together, to think of the things that you can and can't do, whatever. I'm going to stay on this call afterwards as long as needed, and I just want to be a help to you in any way we can to make your day, your experience successful. You're honoring your county, honoring your city, your guidelines, your protocols, keeping people safe, but also still doing so many good things and meeting needs that's what we're all about here doing. Okay, I got some good news I want to share with you. So this last Monday, you guys saw this in the City Leaders Forum, we had a Love Our Cities auction. Okay, so how we raise funds, new nonprofit, started in January. I've been doing this for 13 years, but started in January with Love Our Cities. How are we going to fund this thing? Now we have 2 nonprofits here. And so one way is our city, donations and our annual donations from our cities, which we're going to talk about in just a second here. But that doesn't cover everything, of course, because most of that goes to our developer to make sure your websites are happening. So we do this, we have an auction and a golf tournament. And so this auction killed it. It was amazing. I mean, we've always done these raffles before, and raffles, they were good. It was good. But the auction, the online thing, we used a company called 32 Auctions. I don't know if you've heard of them, if you guys have worked for them, but they were incredible. It's a great platform, super easy to maneuver and navigate. And man, we about doubled what we've done before. So that was a huge home run. And then our golf tournament was on Monday as well. The auction ended Monday 2:30, half an hour after golfers got off the course. And our golf tournament killed it as well. Every year we do better. And here's how: it's sponsors. Y'all, it's all about getting sponsors. If it's your volunteer day, if it's your golf tournament, if it's whatever event or whatever you have, the business community. Hey, I want to make sure we got muted, everybody. We make sure we're muted. There we go. I think I got everybody muted. So what I thought about doing is a future topic. We've done this before, but we need to talk about sponsorships here because we want to help every one of your cities. There is dollars out there that can fund your cities, and it's a win-win for the business community. It's a win-win for everyone, for you too, obviously. So we're going to talk more about sponsorships because I'm just seeing more and more businesses, more and more churches, more and more, our county, our city governments, all that are just wanting to help and contribute to the good that we are doing and bringing together here. So if you go, I'm going to share my screen here real quick. If you go to loveourcities.org, this is our website. And if you type in, most of you hopefully have done this, type in City Leaders, this is your page. This is your page. So on here, you've got all the help that you need. Here's an overview of what we do. Here's our manual or the plug and play. The resources page walks you through your website and gives you all kinds of creative ideas what you can do in your city. And then contract. So October 31 every year is the date that we say, hey, we need your annual city donation by October 31. And we need you to, read through this and agree to, these items. I'm going to be at these monthly meetings. I'm going to communicate well, all this kind of good stuff here. And then by city population, we got a dollar amount per your city that we need in by October 31. A number of cities already have their donation in, which is awesome, but we got a 2 months heads up here. So please have your donation in by October 31. That really, really helps us. The sooner the better, actually, would be really helpful on our end as well. Again, if you are able to onboard another city, if you talk to another city, which we all know other cities, but if another city signs up as an appreciation and a thank you to you all, we take $250 off your annual donation. And so just remember that we want to get as many cities as we can here. Now, the other thing I want to show you is this is the big thing coming up called Movement Day. And been talking about this. This is we never done anything like this before. And I'm so excited. There's like a national, actually international organization that is loving cities in all kinds of different ways like we are. And they've been doing it longer and doing it just in a deeper way than I think we've been. It'd be wise for us to tag along to learn from these guys. And so on October 22nd is a morning that it's on video, and the idea is that you get together with your teams in your city and you listen, you watch some of these presentations, and there's going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of chance for you and your team to interact on how can we do what we're doing in our city better, and just honestly evaluating what you're doing and using some of these great talks and interaction times to do that. So we're doing this here in our area right here. And what I see, it's early. It starts at, remember, it's coming out of New York City. So it's 10 a.m. New York City time. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, Pacific time, if you're on the West Coast, it's 7 a.m., which I know was early. I get it. But you're also done by noon. So the thought is we're going to have some kind of breakfast stuff and appreciate those people that are coming. And then maybe have lunch afterwards, something like that. I'm not for sure yet. But I really see this as a bonding time for your core team, just for your core team to come together, watch this together, interact together, and learn together. And I think it's going to be a pretty awesome experience. So I really want as many of our cities on board doing this year. If you have any questions, at the bottom of this page, you'll see, here's all the registration stuff. Lisa Matthews is our contact, and she is unbelievable. So if you have any questions about registering, whatever, contact her or contact me. So I'll be sending more information about this out in a follow-up email, but I just want to let you all know about that. All right, one more thing. Let me get out of this shared screen here. So one thing, okay, at this golf tournament, I'm being asked, so what do you do anyways? What is this Love Our Cities? What's the point of this whole thing? So I had a chance in front of all these, big name people, influential people that like to golf. I had to say, you know what, really, I think it comes down to three things. And I think these three things y'all will relate with. Number one is what we do is we do citywide volunteer days, or countywide or community-wide, whatever you want to call it. But that's our secret sauce in a sense. That's the thing that we're doing that we don't know anyone else in our country is doing it quite like this. Where we try to bring as many people together from all different backgrounds and beliefs and just the whole community coming together to better a city. That's the one thing we can all agree upon during these days. Not a whole lot else, anyone else is agreeing upon anything right now, but we can agree upon let's better our city. And so that's the citywide volunteer day. But it doesn't end there, because then it moves on to citywide initiatives. And so a lot of our cities have these initiatives like school partnerships, like foster care, like homeless, helping to fight homelessness or anti-human trafficking or whatever it is. There's these initiatives, or just even continuing the volunteer day is never the end. Hopefully it's the beginning of ongoing volunteerism, ongoing involvement and engagement in the community. And so we want to see people to continue to volunteer in these projects long-term throughout the year, not just the one day a year. Third thing is this, and this is what we really have discovered through COVID. Didn't really want to discover a lot of things in COVID. Didn't really want to do COVID, but we did. And some of our cities were doing this beforehand, but I think now a lot of our cities are doing this now, and it's citywide convening. We are the conveners of our city now, y'all. You notice that? I mean, when tragedy comes, when there's a need that happens, or something like 100-year pandemic comes along, who's the city going to call? The city is going to call the one who knows, who's most connected with the nonprofits, with the county, with the city, with the faith community, with the business community. I mean, so what the Citywide Volunteer Day has done is it's gotten us to know all the major players in our cities. And so that when needs happen, we can help connect people with needs and people who can help the needs and connect those two together here. We said this before, we're the Uber my friend Eric Young, who helped me start this whole thing and still is on our board and still super involved. He used this phrase, we're the Uber of community involvement. People, we're helping connect people with needs, people who can help the needs, and put those two together here. Y'all, that's what we are evolving to become. So some of you signed on board just to be, I just want to do the Citywide Volunteer Day. Guess what? We're evolving. And our cities, for the benefit of our cities, we're really helping our cities more than ever before in that way. So I want to help you evolve. And I know you can't do everything. And maybe that's what you can do the volunteer day right now. That's all you can do because you have other jobs and stuff. But I want to come alongside you and hold your hand and help you to think and strategize and how to grow a movement within your city that is sustainable. One day volunteer day, if it ends on that day, really, what's the point if we don't continue to stay involved in our community and help our community throughout the year? So, all right, that's my 2 cents sermon for the day. That's not extra on the annual donation. That is absolutely bonus. That's bonus free stuff right there. Hey, I want to introduce my friend Tracy Veal. So like 11 years ago, we're helping these schools out in this volunteer day experience. And these 2 principals came up to me and they said, thank you for this help you gave on this day and cleaning up, this alley and painting and all that. But you know what we really need? And they confronted me on this. They said, what we really need is positive adult role models throughout the year. We don't just need, thank you for this, but we need after school help. We need help on donations of these different items. And can you work with us throughout the year? And I was like, okay, this is really intriguing. Yeah, I mean, this sounds amazing. And then I had a couple of naysayers saying, don't worry, schools aren't worth it, man. They take too much of your time and you're never going to be successful. It's not worth it. Don't do it. And I'm like, that's a challenge. We're going to make this thing happen. And so the best that we could for the first couple of years, we're connecting some businesses that we get to know and with some schools and principals, but basically just connecting them to and saying, you guys figure it out, because I don't have time to hold your hand to coach you or to get any kind of village going around your school because I got all these other stuff going on. You guys just figure it out. So I feel like we're hitting a single, or maybe a double at times, but more like a single, I think. And then we meet this amazing person called Tracy Veal, and Eric and I are at this, we're in Colorado and at this conference there, and we discover what School Connect is like, whoa, this is going to take this love our schools idea and what we're trying to do here to a home run. I mean, if we really want to hit a home run, we really need more help in this area. And so we got connected with Tracy, and we've been working with School Connect ever since. And I'm super proud of what we've done. I'm super proud of what she's done. And some of you are working with her as well. But I want you to hear about how we can better partner with our schools and how our schools can win in our community more because of us working together here. So Tracy, I want to introduce you, share a little bit about yourself, share a little bit about School Connect and the story behind what has happened here.
So happy that I get to do that. I know many of you and some of you I don't know, so glad that I get to see passionate people who are making a difference in their cities across the country. You were the people that I personally just enjoyed the most. So thank you again for the opportunity. I am a pastor at Pure Heart Church, and I am the founder and CEO of School Connect. And the way that this happened, how all this happened was I started Young Life College at Arizona State University, and I was working with college students in churches and discipleship. And I would take students around the world on these service trips and work with the community that was embedded in that community. And I was in Peru at the time with college students, and we were serving a special needs public school. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to behold. And I had 2 aha moments. One of those was, hey, a school is a portal in every single neighborhood to all the needs of the community. So foster care, refugees, homelessness, hunger, drug addiction, parenting, marriage, doesn't matter what it is, the needs of the community can be accessed through the portal of the school. So that was like this big light. And then the second big light was that I'm flying over my own city, doing this in other countries. Why don't we also do it here? And so Pure Heart Church was a partner all along there. And so they joined us, Arizona State University joined us. And something that fits really the thought process of Love Our Cities is I got trained in asset-based community development from Arizona State University. So I began to say, hey, there are resources all over. We want to call that like hidden gold that is often separated, right, by silos. But when you have eyes to see and you create networks, now suddenly if you have a strategic plan, you can bring all the parties together and you can actually make a difference together. And so that's the process that we started. And in my career, I was with Young Life and then hired somebody to take my place, became a pastor at Pure Heart as pastor of discipleship. And I kept doing this schools thing on the side for free just because I believed in it. And then the senior pastor of Pure Heart said, Tracy, this schools thing is just amazing. Let's actually start our own nonprofit and multiply it as much as we can, because we don't want to be alone in this work, right? We want to do this together. And so 7 years ago, we started our own nonprofit. Today, we have helped partnerships form in about 700 schools in Arizona, and we have started the model in Lafayette, Louisiana, San Antonio, Texas, Appleton and Madison, Wisconsin, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We're working with Fort Tucson, hoping to get a new city director there. Modesto, obviously, Stanislaus County and Orange County. So I know that Ian Stevenson with Trellis is here too. So it's been an incredible joy and ride. So now what I'd love to do, and I'm speaking fast because I'm going to be really honest with you, I have to get in the car at, I think it's 8:45 to drive to a 45-minute trip to Chandler, where I'm speaking to 45 principals, training them to put on a cafe. So I'm doing this quickly, okay, guys? All right, and I'm going to share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, you're all set? You can see?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So our mission is connecting schools to their community, because it takes a village to help every single child reach their potential. We really do believe that. It's schools cannot do it alone. And in the United States, there are 132,853 K through 12 schools. And we really believe that there's twice as many churches as there are schools, but there are also businesses and nonprofit and government organizations, police departments, fire departments, everybody working together as a village for every single school to see those kids' lives transform. And as a result of their lives changing, of course, their families and even the neighborhood and the community. So those schools represent 56 million K through 12 students. And obviously, I'm not going to go through all of this, but the need is severe. Not only in Title I schools, where there's a great amount of poverty and a struggle, 24% of students live in poverty and receive Title I. But even students who are not in Title I students are facing greater anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation than ever before. And with COVID, that has gone sky high. It's increased by almost 40%. So once again, our perspective is that teachers have been trying to wear 12 hats. You know, they've been trying to get food for kids and be the social worker and be the counselor and make sure they're safe, make sure that they have a place to be able to do their homework. Like, all of these different aspects of what they have to do are exhausting and overwhelming. And I would say to you, from all the superintendents and principals that I speak to every day, right now, they're maybe in more pain than they have ever been, ever. They are exhausted. They have parents screaming at them about masks and screaming at them about not masks, right? They're just overwhelmed and wanting to retire as fast as they can. And so, like, how do we do this? This is the 2-minute video that Jeff talked about. This really, in just one little video, kind of describes the how. So here we go.
Getting kids a good education can be tough. Poverty, hunger, and fragmented families put kids at risk. Teachers and principals have to battle incredible odds just to give kids a chance. With a problem this vast, we need a solution that is focused. School Connect has found a way, and it's not complicated. The resources that schools need are all around them, but principals and parents may have no idea what their community can offer. For years, people have tried to get by with what they have or who they know. School Connect helps people build relationships with schools in their neighborhoods. We network, train, and coach diverse community partners in order to form strong, sustainable partnerships that transform local schools. We're creating an infrastructure of support. If several organizations in the community find out that a local school needs more notebooks and they all make a generous donation, that school will have plenty of notebooks, but might also have dilapidated sports equipment or kids that need tutoring. What if those organizations could connect before they help the school? Together, they can learn the school's needs, take inventory of their combined resources, and then pour their support into that school in the most efficient way possible. We're not here to rescue schools with basic donations. We're trying to create relationships. The strengths and challenges of every school are unique. Real change comes when community members pool resources and rally to invest in each other. The School Connect collaborative model has already changed the lives of thousands of students. The problem is vast, but the solution is local. You can bring this collaboration to your own neighborhood. Learn more at schoolconnectaz.org.
So who is at the table of a school? That means the faith leader. The role of the faith community that we absolutely love to support is that they become the volunteer school champion. One of the specific reasons why principals would say no to something like bringing a village around them is because they're so busy putting out one fire after another that they feel like this is another job for them. And it kind of is. So what we do is we find those school champions from the community. This is just a volunteer role. It's maybe up to 3 hours a week, so it's totally doable. And what we find is that youth pastors and missions pastors and children's pastors are often wanting to reach those schools anyway, wanting to reach kids and reach their families. And so it's a very natural role for them. But we want the parent leader from the school there. The community leader could be the neighborhood association, the Block Watch, Kiwanis, Rotary. There's so many amazing organizations that should have a seat at the table. Obviously, the principal is the person who really takes the lead in this. We really train principals. So we have a full training program available that we can do all online as well as in person. So we train principals in understanding what are your exact needs? What is it you're trying to accomplish at your school? So that might be that they're trying to retain teachers. It could be that they're trying to impact the school culture or provide social emotional support for kids or wraparound services for kids. It could be that they're trying to get parents to be more engaged. And of course, there's always academic achievement. So at this table, which we call the cafe table for community and family engagement, that principal, we train them to understand, well, how can these community partners at the table help? So we love student leaders, government leaders, and of course, Jeff mentioned business leaders. And I don't want you to kind of forget about them, because as city movement leaders from a faith perspective, what I've experienced is that there are believers in all of these sectors and they run to the table. They want to be involved in their local school. So why connect with the entire village? That's really because no individual organization can take care of all the needs of a school. It's just not possible. It also creates sustainability because change is constantly happening, right? Whether it's a principal changing or a pastor changing or a business changing, it's always going to happen. But if you have a whole village and they're all working together, if change happens, now they're able to adjust, all right? And I just want to talk through very quickly a case study to tell you about what's possible when you do this. So Mountain View School is a 100% free and reduced lunch school in the Washington Elementary School District here in Phoenix. 4 years ago, when we started at that school, it had 1,500 preschool through 8th grade students. primarily Spanish speaking. It was in the neighborhood of Sunny Slope, which was super high in violence, crime, homelessness. Like kindergartners and first graders are walking through homeless encampments, drug addiction. They have siblings who are watching people be killed. It was really hard. Obviously, only a 23% grade language proficiency. So we began to pull the village together. There was one church that was already there. They were amazing and they're still there, but there's no way they could provide for all the needs of the school. So slowly but surely that year, we started building community partners. And today there are 30 partners that surround that school. And we were able to begin to address the really strategic areas where they needed help. The first one being they lost 30 teachers the year the new principal took over to turn that school around. And so we started really focusing on teacher support and appreciation. Things like we made one church made a meal for teachers for parent-teacher conferences. And then another business said, hey, we'd be happy to give gift cards so that every time students are behaving well, they're trying to change school culture, they would get this gift card for the teacher to use for the classroom. And then the third idea that came about the second year was an amazing automotive business in the community who said, hey, we know it's hard to get teachers to be there every day of the year. So how about if we contribute a car and any teacher that has perfect attendance at the end of the year will pull a name out of the hat and they'll get that car. So we saw teacher retention go from 30 teachers left to the next year only 15, to the next year only 6 of those teachers left. We saw them start a parent organization. You can see the picture here of the moms wearing their matching shirts. They got really involved and started a PTO at the school. They also, with the help of the principal and the city neighborhood specialist, started a West Sunny Slope Neighborhood Association. So they began to address all of the violence, the danger, the beautification of the need all the way through. So we started seeing this huge impact, even academically. The kids had a 94% attendance record. Their reading scores started going sky high. And within 3 years, they went from being a D- rated academically to 9 points away from a B. So that was a gigantic thing. Parents began viewing the school as the hub of the neighborhood. And they said, we believe our kids are believed in and we trust the school, which was a huge turnaround. And I'm not sure that we have time. I have a 4-minute video of this story. What do you think, Jeff? Is that too much, too tight?
I think it might be, because I know we have some questions that we want to ask of you.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can send me the video link, and then I can
will
put
do
that
that.
in that email here, because I do want to end here in 10 minutes exactly here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, all I'm going to say is that the secret sauce, just like the secret sauce for you guys is the service day, we also have a Love Our School service day that blends perfectly with that, Love Our Cities, right? Our secret sauce is that cafe, that roundtable conversation between a principal and their community partners that is very strategic, right? Creating strategy and then matchmaking the organization, what it does well that the school needs. So I will stop sharing and answer questions.
Well, before I open it up here, I want to ask you this. So like practically, what does this look like? Like I'm in, let's say I'm in a smaller city or I'm in a mid-sized city, and holy cow, what do I need to do on my end? I'm so overwhelmed with what I'm doing. Who do I need to get together? What kind of people do I need to help lead this? And what do you do to help me to lead this in my city?
Yeah, we have a full program, and Jeff, I'm sure that you could speak to this, and Ian could as well. But we actually have a whole city director cohort. So we actually get together with those people. We train them. We give them all of our resources, and we meet with them as a cohort monthly. We coach them monthly, and then we give them literally to put on a cafe. We have a full toolkit. We have a full toolkit for Love Our Schools Day. We have a yearly summit that we invite all those city directors to. We have a whole toolkit for how to do teacher appreciation. So we just make this as simple as possible. Like for us, we know that thousands of people would like to volunteer, and in order to do that, they need a clear and simple pathway. So we create that. We have job descriptions of what a school champion does at the school, and then we support them.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right, open it up. Any questions that you guys have of Tracy and School Connect? Go ahead and raise your hand in the screen there. All right, Curtis in Irvine.
Yeah, how has it worked where districts have, like, say, strong PTAs already in existence? How's that worked or
Yeah,
not worked?
It's great. No, it's actually great because those, like we just put on an event on Saturday that had PTA leaders and principals and teachers, and we brought them together, hundreds of them, with 41 nonprofits and businesses who could serve schools, all kinds of fundraisers and nonprofits that offered special services for schools. So PTAs love us. Like the Arizona PTA actually supported our event and came with the table and sent all of their PTA leaders, because this is just like kind of the perfect combination. We're able to bring partners to them and they feel empowered. We always keep the principal in the driver's seat. So we're not allowing the PTA to kind of like overwhelm a principal, right? We're always saying, hey, the strategic plan comes from a principal.
Jim Manteca.
I'm a male. I may have missed it. Is there a link that we could go to for School Connect, but also your speaking notes for today? Could those be shared?
I'd be happy to send you the PowerPoint that will have videos, and our website is schoolconnectaz.org. So I would be happy to do that. Yeah.
And I'll include that in my follow-up email when I get that from Tracy. Brian.
So obviously we're using the School Connect model for Love Stanislaus County. I just wanted to ask you, you highlighted in your presentation the challenges that our superintendents, principals, and everybody are facing right now. And I was wondering if you had any advice on, during this time, how to connect. In our area, a lot of our administrators switch roles quite frequently. So there's different leaderships at different schools. So right now, as we're trying to reconnect in the post-COVID, pre-COVID, whatever world we're in right now, what are some of the tips and challenges for even getting those meetings or bringing people out when the superintendents and principals are so busy?
Yeah. You know, I feel like trust is the thing that everything is built on. And so they have to understand that you're going to listen to them and provide them exactly what they need. So yesterday I was on a Zoom call with 33 superintendents from Arizona, and I was asking them very much that question. Love Our Schools Day usually happens. We usually have about 10,000 volunteers, serve 265 schools in the Phoenix area. And so, you know, I said, what is it that you need? And this is what we heard. We heard them say, our morale is incredibly low right now. So pour attention on our principals and teachers, like bring gift baskets of food for the staff, for the teachers lounge, send them handwritten cards. Like, you know, let them know that there are some community members out there who know what they're going through and are not going to take a side on one side or another of the crazy issues that are being faced, because they thought that this fall was going to be different. And it's almost not. Like, they are so exhausted by that. It's overwhelming. And I would say from my experience last year, I felt for the teachers. The teachers had to suddenly change to online. They had to, you know, have their own kids trained. They had to train other people's kids. It was a learning curve. They had no power over whatever decision was made, and they had to live with it. Okay. But now it's principals who are having to live out you know, critical race theory controversy and masks or no masks and social emotional support. Like, oh my gosh, right? So that they said, we want classroom love, like give us incentives, give things to the school classroom that the teachers can use for kids to be able to feel like, oh my gosh, I want to be in school and we're getting to do special things, even if we can't have people come in or we can't go off on a field trip. And then they also said, for our students themselves, they actually also need a morale boost. So sending a treat for them during like their recess, or, you know, a popsicle or whatever it is that the district allows in terms of a food item that would of course be packaged. But those things are so simple Honestly, anybody could do all of them. Last year, when we couldn't do Love Our Schools Day in person in the schools, School Connect created a care package box, and we gave them a postcard for the teacher and a sticker and a pen. And then we invited our community partners to stuff those boxes for teachers and drop them off. And we were able to do that for 10,000 teachers in Arizona. So that's only a small thing. I mean, but it meant something to them. They felt, personally known and valued. But we also have a list that we've been compiling with our other city directors of different ideas that you can do for, especially during right now, especially during COVID. Things like instant gardens, where you could just have these rows of bags of dirt and a hose and seeds and make an instant garden in a school. That is a simple way of helping them be engaged, and it doesn't require gardeners to all come in and be directly working with kids. Things like comfort baskets for anybody who's lost somebody to COVID, right? There are just lots and lots of great ideas. And I would say the other thing is that we are hosting cafes. So you see the picture of in person is so wonderful, right? With a table and the community partners, but we're doing that online. We're bringing a superintendent, principals, and partners on a Zoom call just like this. The superintendent gets to share about what's happening in their district and their vision and what they need and how things are going. And then you break into Zoom rooms and you have principals with their community partners planning how they can do that work. And in districts where we've been doing this all year, we did this last year, they did food distributions together, 500,000 pounds of food for one small school district. They did immunizations, they did COVID testing, they had an online town hall, they did teacher appreciation. Like they did more last year during COVID than they had ever done in the years before by using the School Connect model and doing it online.
Wow.
Thank you.
Got time for one more question. Actually, we don't. It's 8:43. Sorry. If you do have questions, you can, go to the website that Tracy just mentioned. I'm going to put this in the email that's going to go out. So Tracy, as soon as after your meeting today, if you could send me that video link in your notes of this presentation, then I'll send this out to everyone today. And I've got your email as well that I can send to everybody.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I'll send the PowerPoint, and then I'll send that list of ideas that we have of things you can do, because I think that would be really helpful for you guys.
That would be really great. Thank you. I just want to say this is that, there's so many things in life that I try to do on my own, and I try to recreate, reinvent the wheel kind of thing. Don't do that. Guys, we have someone here that's been in the trenches of doing this for a long time now. And let's learn, let's piggyback on what she's already done and her team, and just some of these great ideas. It's a no-brainer to jump on board. So, I know everyone can't do everything right now, but maybe you can just do one thing. Maybe it's one school. It's not all your schools, just one school. And maybe it's one classroom, or maybe let's just do what we can do, because it's so needed right now, perhaps more than ever. So Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you. You are my heroes. Honestly, I just so appreciate everything that you do. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tracy. All right, hey y'all, before we go here, I just want to share next month, Kevin Plow is going to be our guest here. And raise your hand if you know Kevin Plow. Anybody know the Plow family? So you don't know him. He is just one of my dearest friends. He wrote the foreword to our book that is coming out hopefully one of these days, probably next year. And he's just a wise sage when it comes to citywide convening, initiatives, and volunteerism. And he's been around a long time, and his dad has been really famous in what he did. But I'm so excited to have Kevin a part. There's so much wisdom he's going to impart to us. So that's next month, always the first Wednesday in the month, whatever that is in October. And then if you want to stay on the call here, I'm going to be on the call as long as I need to be, as long as I can be, just to help and be a service to you all. So thank you all. Have a great day today. You'll be getting an email from me later today with all Tracy's information.